So today we're going to be speaking about the case for mandatory military service in the United States. So as an introduction to this topic, let's talk about the concept of mandatory military service and the importance of national security and civic duty. So the concept of military and mandatory service is when the country's government has issued a mandatory service in the military for its population. It can select all of its populations or just a certain populace, and the terms of service can vary from months to years. National security refers to the government's ability to protect its country, its citizens, economy, and institutions from various threats. And a civic duty is the people's involvement in that protection. So now let's talk about historical context. So, some countries that use the mandated military service for its citizens are Israel and South Korea. So, for Israel, all Jewish men and women, Druze men, and Caucasian men are required to serve. Men are required to serve 2 years and 8 months, and women are required to serve 2 years. That is the minimum requirement. They can continue on with their service. There are exemptions in Israel for humanitarian, religious, and certain legal grounds. And then in South Korea, all able bodied men between the ages of 18 and 35 must serve in the military. And their term depends on what branch of the military they serve in. So if they choose the Army and Marines, they must serve 1 year and 6 months. If they choose the Navy, they must serve 1 year and 8 months. If they serve the Air Force, they must serve 1 year and 9 months. There are exemptions to their program as well, and that has to do with health issues, certain professions that may be deemed critical, and they can't lose any members from that certain profession. And if they have exceptional skills, like if they're a national musician or an athlete for the country. So benefits that these countries have seen have been increased national security, social integration, a skilled workforce, and post-service benefits are greatly benefiting these citizens, whether it be securing homes or education after their service terms. So let's talk about some historical precedents in the United States where we have used a similar program. During the Civil War, we had the Military Draft Act of 1863, which required all 20 to 45-year-old males to enlist. And then in World War I and World War II, selective service was started in 1917, and conscription was actually used during World War II. Then we have the Korean and Vietnam War. We had a draft during those wars. And then in 1973 is when the US moved to an all volunteer military. So now let's talk about how a mandatory military service would benefit our national security. So we have enhanced military readiness, rapid mobilization, tactical and strategic advancements. So a larger, well-trained military force can improve national defense and international capabilities due to the size and distribution of our military. The United States would be better equipped to deploy faster and with a larger quantity of personnel to go to any part of the globe. This availability of troops would greatly strengthen not only our appearance, but the power of the United States military. And if we went to this mandatory service military, this would create a diverse pool of recruits that can contribute their own personal skills towards greater innovations in the military and for the United States as a whole. So now let's talk about the civic and social benefits to a mandatory military service. We're going to have promotion of national unity, development of discipline and responsibility to the citizens, and bridging the socioeconomic gaps in our country that our country faces today. So service in the military can foster a sense of national identity and unity for the ones who serve. This comes from the bonds that are formed during serving alongside one another. And during military training, soldiers face obstacles and challenges that promote personal growth and character development. So, a mandatory service would also bridge those socioeconomic gaps by securing equal opportunities for all citizens. If everyone is going to serve in the military as soon as they finish their high school, they're going to have an equal start to their life as an adult. This can secure them a job that pays well, they get excellent training, and they get the benefits at the completion of their service, which will help them further themselves into adulthood by providing education, additional education, and securing homes. So now let's talk about the economic and educational advantages that a program like a mandated military service would have. We would have increased job training and skills development, educational benefits, and a huge economic impact. Between all four major branches of the United States military, there are over 531 different jobs that are available. And over the last 10 years, the military has worked with universities and companies to give service members who attend these trainings college courses or college course credits and certifications so they can further their education and secure jobs when they're finished with their service. In these jobs, service members learn to master skills that not only translate to the military life, but civilian life as well. They learn communication and leadership skills, which would greatly translate into our United States workforce today. And service members also qualify for education benefits through the military, like post 9/11 GI Bill and the Montgomery GI Bill, which would pay for all or most of your education that you would need to get that bachelor's degree. And if there's a mandatory service, this would benefit everyone by giving them an opportunity to attend college without having to worry about how they're going to secure the funding through a loan or through grants. This would be exponentially beneficial for our country. The combination of a person being able to leave the military, go seek further education without barriers, would impact our society and workforce with more skilled labor and that is well trained and disciplined. The labor force would lead more people having jobs. Thus, we could reduce the cost of social programs like unemployment and increase our tax revenue, leading to economic stability and growth. So today we've talked about the historical context, the benefits to national security, the civic and social benefits that it would have, and the economic and educational advantages that a mandatory military service would have. So in conclusion, I'd like to say that mandatory military service would greatly benefit the United States. It would not only benefit us economically by bringing a better workforce, but it would benefit us as a people to help close the divide that has been seemingly getting larger over these past couple of years. The benefits of a program like this would lead to the closing of our social and economic imbalances and place the citizens of the United States to a brighter future for not only themselves, but for future generations as well. Thank you.